So for this question, we have a t-table, and then it says the data in the table illustrates a linear function. What is the slope? And then which graph represents the data? So this is a two-part question, so there are going to be two answers. The first answer will be what is the slope? And then the second answer will be which graph represents the data. Okay, so if we look over here at our t-table, if we want to find the slope, there are two different ways to find the slope. Well, actually, there's three. You could think about it as one of our arithmetic sequences. You could say, okay, how do we go from -5 to -3, and then from -3 to -1, and then from -1 to 2? In other words, what is the common difference? So if you can look at that and tell that the common difference is 2 every time, you could do that. And then you could look down here and say, okay, I'm going from -4 to 0, from 0 to 4, and then 4 to, oh wait, because this isn't even the next number. So you could think about sequences, or you could use your slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I think what happened here is I was thinking that the next one should be a positive 1, which would go to 8, and then 2 to 10. Okay, so my sequence got a little bit messed up there because it skipped one of the values and kind of jumped around a little bit. But if we look at the slope formula, it doesn't matter which 2 points we pick. We can pick any 2 points. So I'm just going to pick these two. And then I'm going to label them. The top ones are my x's, so I'm going to let this be x1, and this is going to be x2. And then the bottom are y values, so this is the first y, so it'll be y1, and this is the second y, so it'll be y2. And then we're going to plug it into our slope formula. Remember, I like to go ahead and put the minus signs there so I don't mess that up. The first thing is y2, and my y2 is 0. Then I need y1, and my y1 is -4. Then I need x2, and my x2 is -3. And then I need x1, which is -5. Now it is perfectly okay to have two negatives. Two negatives actually make a positive. But if you didn't remember that and you typed it in the calculator with the two negatives, it would work. So I'll show you both of those. Let me pull up my calculator. Okay, so in my calculator, if I did the top value, which was 0 minus -4, let's say that you didn't remember it, turned it into a plus sign. You can just type it in exactly how it looks, minus -4 with the two negatives there. And that gives you a +4 for the top. And then on the bottom, we have -3, and originally it was minus -5. So I want to show you that if you forgot that that makes a positive, that's okay. You could do -3 minus -5, and it gives you 2. So on the bottom, we get 2. And then we could reduce this in our calculator. 4 divided by 2. Most of you probably know that in your brain, but just in case you don't, 4 divided by 2 equals 2. So our slope here is a +2. That's one of our answers. Our slope is 2. And then we also have to pick out the correct graph. Well, it's kind of awesome because one of them is going downhill, which means that the slope has to be negative. And then the other one is going uphill, which means the slope has to be positive. And since we know our slope is +2, we know that this has to be the correct graph. You could also figure out the graph by plotting the points, right? You could go to 2, 10 and put a point. And if you try to go to 2, 10 over here, you would see that there isn't a point on the line there. And you could do that for any of the points. I just picked the last one.